up, you have President Arroyo as the head, theoretically, of the Office on Muslim Affairs. Below that, we have Executive Secretary Eduardo Ermita. Go again below, we have 4 Deputy Executive Directors. 2 of them have been assigned in the Middle East. And you go again, you find me, one of the officials there. Bureau Director. We have 5 Bureau offices, and then we have, of course, the staff services. Now, briefly, what are our functions? I said earlier, we have been given broad powers. The Office on Muslim Affairs have been given broad powers to include political governance. So what are these? Number 1, we provide advice and assistance to the President, including the negotiation of the peace talks in Mindanao. We also serve as the link between the President and the public or private organizations. We undertake and coordinate development Muslim programs. We also conduct eminent domain proceedings. In other words, state intervention and land ownership as long as it pertains to the Muslim affairs. And lastly, we provide legal and technical assistance, of course, including halal in the Philippines. As I mentioned, we also have quasi-corporate functions. Again, why quasi? Because it cannot be a full corporate function because we are not a GOCC. We are not a government-owned corporation. So what do? We can enter into contracts and agreements like what we did this morning. We can also obtain loans from lending institutions. We are now working for a loan with the Asian Development Bank and the IDB, Islamic Development Bank. We can also accept grants, donations, and gifts, administer projects, and acquire, lease, and own properties. Now, briefly again, the bureaus and functions under the Office on Muslim Affairs. We have, number 1, the Bureau of Muslim Cultural Affairs. We preserve, enhance, and promote anything about cultural affairs of the Muslim Filipinos. Example, Quran reading competitions, we handle that. We also handle Sharia trainings. We also administer mosques in the Philippines. OMA administers the mosque in Quiapo, the famous Golden Mosque created by President Marcos, and the Green Mosque located in Taguig. We also conduct, of course, as I said earlier, Quran reading, Sharia, and Madaris. Another bureau in the OMA is what you call the Bureau of Muslim Settlements. Here we intervene on Muslim settlements in the Philippines. Some 23 Muslim settlements have been identified by the government even during the time of President Marcos. So we coordinate assistance from calamities and develop Muslim public cemeteries. Would you believe that one of the basic problems of Muslim Filipinos in Metro Manila is how to bury their dead relatives? Muslim Filipinos still lack decent cemetery for Muslim Filipinos. Another, of course, is the Bureau of Muslim Cooperative Development. We handle entrepreneurial projects. We also handle economic and livelihood endeavors among Muslim communities, and so on and so forth. And of course, it would not be complete if I will not mention my own bureau, the Bureau of External Relations. And of course, I have to place everything I do in the BR because I'm the one discussing my bureau. So among them, number 1 is, of course, I chair the Muslim advocacy of the UNICEF. We also conduct fundraising, identification management. We also train project proposal writings, special Muslim registry project. Now, this is important, the registry, because until now, if you ask the national census, they will tell you Muslim Filipinos in the Philippines roughly total to only 3 million. Muslim Filipinos, according to the census, official data is only 3 million. But in Metro Manila alone, we counted Muslim Filipinos can reach as high as 500,000. So in OMA estimate, Muslim Filipinos can reach as high as 8 to 10 million. Conservative estimate, 10% of the population. So 90 million, 8 to 9 million. We also conduct IT technology, computer literacy for OMA. And again, lastly, and one of the most controversial office in OMA. Controversial because we never run out of problems. And this has always been a talk in the newspapers. The Bureau of Pilgrimage and Endowment. For those of you who are not aware of what we do, we actually assist pilgrims annually to Mecca. Roughly 5,000 to 6,000 pilgrims. We also conduct Tawqaf and other fundraising projects. Now we go to the gist of the program, the halal. But before I begin, the Philippines is actually a quandary because until now, we do not know as to what agency shall be the lead convener or shall be the lead agency to handle halal in the Philippines. Until now. The President issued Executive Order number 46 last 2002, putting OMA as the lead agency, but 2 years after, the Supreme Court struck it as unconstitutional. The President again issued Memorandum Order Circular 201, creating a group harmonizing halal in the Philippines, which of course includes OMA, DOST, DOH, DOT, DA, and DTI. And until now, we're still in the process of harmonizing our programs months before the end of the President's term in 2010. So what did OMA do? We finally made the provisions of halal as part of the OMA's mandate, and inshallah, hopefully by next year, the missing link in halal promotion will now be found in OMA's mandate, the Public Act, so on and so forth. But this time, clearly giving the mandate to the Office on Muslim Affairs, which may be called the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos, clear and categorical mandate to regulate, develop, and promote halal in the Philippines. We firmly believe, again, DOST as one of our bedrock in promoting the scientific concepts pertaining to halal. This is our vision in 2010. This is the ideal structure of halal in the Philippines. OMA as the focal agency. Why? Simply because it's the only Muslim agency in the government that has primary mandate to handle halal in the Philippines. Some agencies, they have Muslim officials, but their mandate is generic, it's broad. And of course, I believe only DOST Region 12, of course, have achieved so much for Muslims in Mindanao. So that's the ideal scenario. OMA is the middle. We have DOH, DTI, DOT, DA, and of course, DOST. So they work together, promoting halal, and OMA providing the legitimacy in pushing halal in the Philippines. We need to do that because Philippines is a Catholic country, whether we like it or not.